Okay, we're going to give it just a couple more minutes, see if we get anybody.
Hey, Lee, the funny thing is when they try to do their kata with it, one of them had the idea to do their kata with it without dropping it.
Yeah, had I done that with you? I can't remember, Jared.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's actually kind of interesting, and Steve would know Taika's technical application version. If you do like Nahachi, you almost, to keep from dropping the ball when you do things, you kind of have to almost do the technical application version
Nice.
of the kata. Otherwise, yeah, you end up dropping the thing.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, we were playing around with it last night, as a matter of fact, and yeah, they were going through some of one of their basic forms, and yeah, they had fun with it, man.
So you're back live with students now?
Yeah, we're back live. We started back last week. We're doing small classes. We're only doing 2 days a week right now, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we'll probably go to the end of this month, and then next month add Mondays and Wednesdays back in, and then we'll do Saturdays for Yudansha and stuff. Keep that for them. So we should be back fully live next month.
So our city has come out, and their phase 2 non-essential starts this Saturday. Technically, the city doesn't really know this dojo exists, but because I've got some idiot neighbors that might, if they see 10, 20 cars pull up and a bunch of people come into the basement with no mask, they all know I teach. I'm sure somebody would call the city, and next thing you know, I'd be having to have a city permit and, all the usual monthly fees and everything. And then, yeah. So I've avoided that so far in my life because I'm down in the basement, but
nice.
Really don't want to have to jump through those hoops.
Yeah, it can be a real nightmare, man. It can be a real nightmare.
They'll come in to my house and inspect it, and you got to have a certain number of fire extinguishers, and the squawk box, the fire alarms, and this and that, and yeah,
Even if you're doing like just having friends over to train.
Well, yeah, if they consider it a business, then which all they got to do is look at my Facebook site or my website and see that I charge $30 a month.
Yeah, good point.
I'm gonna say, well, it is a business, which
yeah.
I don't know if any of the cues at all are going to show. I already had a couple of them email me and cancel, saying they're busy tonight. So
doing what?
Nobody gave me full excuses.
I'm just kidding. I kid.
Trinidad normally only logs in on Saturday anyway, and I haven't seen Safe. Safe hasn't logged in probably 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me, I'll go ahead and write down who's here today. My little roll book.
Yeah, last Wednesday, man, I was going to try to get on, but with work, getting back into work, I sat down, man, and I didn't wake back up till I had to physically go to bed. I passed out, man. I was dead to the world.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, going in at 3 a.m. now, getting used to that again is really, it kind of sucks.
Yeah. I used to get up at 3 a.m. and be at my desk by 4:30 or 5, somewhere in that ballpark. Did that for almost 15 years. It took me a good year and a half before I could sleep past 5 a.m.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm getting back into that because that's what time I got to go. I got to be at work by 4 at least.
All right. Well, it's 5 after. This may be everybody we're going to get. I don't know. Maybe somebody will join in later. Unless you guys have something specific, I'm just going to do some more spider ball drills and maybe talk about a little thing with speed first before I get into the ball drill, because I'm going to add instead of thinking straight arm, I'm gonna add it as a back fist, single, double head today for a little bit of variance from what we've done in the past. But I wanted to talk about back fist. We did the last class. I think Steve and Brad were here. Yeah, the last class we kind of did that speed drill. Oh, and by the way, sorry I bagged on the last class Saturday, but for those that don't know, I was in a motorcycle wreck 25 years ago, and periodically I have low back issue that just comes up and seizes, and I can't hardly walk. And so I had, actually, the last class I did teach in Zoom, I was pretty much in agony throughout the whole thing. And the next day I could hardly walk. So I was using a cane for 4 or 5 days until finally the doctors got me all loosened up, and I'm back to normal, or what we'll call is normal. I don't think I've ever really been a normal human being. But at any rate, just happens periodically. Still a little sore, but I'm at least ambulatory today. Without, I don't need a crutch or a cane today. So in that last class that we had, and Jerry wasn't here for it, we talked about the float drill and both hands going straight, and then you going into windmills or pedals, forward pedal, back pedal, and whatever. And I kind of use that analogy of throwing the water, flinging the water off your fingertips to try to get that speed, floating and dropping. And when we did that, I had those braces on everybody so that you were not inclined to bend your arm. Since Jerry didn't see that, I'll actually take off my golfer's elbow brace. But just simple pool noodle and a couple of headbands, or if you've got forearm guards or something, if you stick that over the crease, then when you do your floating drills, you float and fling the water off your hands, your initial response before you start doing your windmills is quick. And I think I covered some of that sort of without the feedback device when I was in Florida with you guys, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So that's kind of that. Sometimes I visualize, like flinging water. Sometimes I just think of it as a back fist. So I'm thinking of back fist in the arm or the shoulder as I do it. Now the follow-up, it's straight arm. Your goal is to keep that arm straight as possible, but then you've got to bend to start doing your windmills. So the speed drill for bending the arm is thinking in the center instead of at the elbow. So what a lot of people do, like they'll do a punch. I just did an oyata punch. But a lot of martial artists will do a punch, and then the elbow is their hinge, and they rotate that around and do outside block, inside block, whatever they call it, depending on their style. So Taika said, if you're only thinking here, then you're only moving one part of your arm, and it's slow. You should think in the middle, and that this is a teeter-totter. So when I go back fist, now if I think about my elbow arcing down and my hand arcing up, I get two actions. So I'm going two different directions. I'm straight, and now my arm goes two directions at the same time. So that's how we make this straight, and then how we get to the windmills and start making those straight, or those fast. All right. So we're going to do several of these ball drills initially on our web. And I'm going to want you to think about flinging and going, taking your arms straight out, whichever direction we go. Don't bend and push. Think straight out, kind of like you're doing a back fist. And then instead of just bending at the elbow, bend in the center for your single, then your double, then your head. And then we're going to do a back fist again, bend in the center, so that the ball is actually hitting the center of my forearm. So that's kind of another little mnemonic or whatever you will. If you're thinking about where the ball is at after I do this back fist, then it's real easy to think that elbow comes in as the hand comes up and out, right? So I've got kinetic energy from my fist curving up this way, and I've got kinetic energy from my elbow curving down this way, and somewhere in the middle is my pivot point. Thumbs up, good, everybody got it? All right, tell Missy hi. All right, just making sure nobody's in that waiting room. All right, so what I'm gonna have us do is we're just gonna start with the ball in our hands down here. It just looks kind of silly because I'm gonna go straight initially. And then I'm gonna do everything right-handed, single, but I thought about the middle of it. And then the same thing, my elbow's kind of going forward on this double, my hand's coming back, I'm thinking in the middle where that ball is to do my double. And then I'm essentially doing a single again and going up for my head. And then I'm gonna go to the other side, to the east, I do my back fist. And then thinking in the center, single, thinking in the center, double, thinking in the center, it's kind of a single and head. And then everything right now is just clockwise, so I'm going back fist, think center, single, think center, double, think center, up to the head. And then northeast, I'm going back fist, single, double, head. And then north, back fist, single, double, head, and back fist, single, double, head. All right? Good, good, good. I see no X's. All right, so we're gonna do the front half of this deal starting to the west and just doing initial back fist and clockwise rotation. So everything, we're concentrating on the right side of the ball, back fist, single, double, head. All right, we'll do it a few times and then we're gonna change up where we're going at that point. All right, so first drill, starting to the west, our left. All right, here we go. Back fist, single, double, head, 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 back fist, single, double, head. Yay, that looked pretty smooth. Do it a couple more times. Ready. Back fist, single, double, head. Back fist, single, double, head. Back fist, northwest, single, double, head. Northeast, back fist, single, double, head. North, back fist, single, double, head. And south, back fist, single, double, head. All right, one more time. Brad lost his balls. That happens when you get married sometimes. All right, so here we go. One more time. Straight out to the west, back fist, single, double, head, east, back fist, single, double, head, northwest, back fist, single, double, head, northeast, back fist, single, double, head, and north, back fist, single, should be the left foot forward, double head, and south, back fist, single, double, head. All right, so now we're gonna change it up a little bit. Jerry wasn't here for this the last time. So it starts feeling kind of like your body's kind of bored to death because you're just sitting there. Now remember, we should be kind of going, we should be putting hourglass in if our right arm is short, which actually really, really hurts my left hip right now. But if my arm is short, I should be hourglass. And then when I come around to here, my arm is long. So maybe on the double, I need an hourglass. But if I'm only really using the right arm, it's already long because the shoulder's forward. And then back here to the northwest, single, double, my right arm is short. So I need to be in that hourglass as I'm doing that. Now, we're going to add something, some extra movement to it, Jerry, that we didn't do the last time we did this with you. And what it is I'm doing my back fist, single, double, as I go and do that last little cover before I pop up. I'm going to bring the foot up and then retreat back. That makes sense? So I'm doing my back fist, single, double. I'm here in an hourglass. As I do this single, I'm rocking my weight forward, bringing my foot up, and then I'm retreating back with that upper. So your upper actually consists of kind of a single and then up. You could actually do a double and up if you wanted. But when we do that, we're going to bring the foot forward and then bring it back. And so when I go to this side, when I go to my east, I'll do a back fist, single, double is hourglass, bring that back foot up, and retreat. Make sense? All right, got a thumb and a pen. Yeah, I have a feeling I'll be doing some traction tomorrow. All right, so here we go. Ready, back fist, single, double is hourglass, bring the foot up, retreat. To the east, back fist, single, double, back foot comes up, retreat. Northwest, back fist, back, needs to be an hourglass for that single, double, head, I come up and retreat. Okay, and northeast, oops, forgot my back fist, talking too much. My right shoulder's forward, so I'm good, single, double. If I want that bottom hand to hit, I've got to do an hourglass. Back leg comes up, retreat. Now north, back fist, single, Got to be hourglasses because my right shoulder's back. Double. Back foot comes up. Retreat. And south. Back fist. Single. I'm fine in a back stance. Double. Hourglass if I want the bottom hand to hit. Back foot comes up. And retreat. Woo. All right. We're going to do that a couple more times, and then we're going to switch to the back part of this web. All right. So the exact same thing. Ready. Back fist. Single with the hourglass. Double with the hourglass. Back foot comes up. Retreat. Out to the east. Back fist. Single. Back stance is fine. Double hourglass. And back foot up. Retreat with a head. Northwest. Back fist. Single. Needs to be hourglass. Double needs to be hourglass. Back foot comes up. Retreat. Northeast. Back fist. Single. Back stance is fine. Double. Hourglass. And back foot comes up. Retreat. And north. Back fist. Right shoulder is short. So we need to make sure we're hitting hourglass. Single. Double. Back foot comes up. Retreat. And south. Back fist. Single. Back stance is fine. Double. Hourglass for the bottom hand. And back foot comes up. Retreat. All right. So just for perspective for Brad, can't remember if I've told Brad this, but I know Jerry hasn't heard it. Steve probably heard it from Taika. A lot of the times, this upper motion is when we're actually grabbing an arm and pulling. In some of Taika's bunkai, obviously not all of his bunkai. I mean, obviously, sometimes he was hitting the neck. You know, he was going forward. But there are lots of moves where when we did this, particularly in spiderweb, where we were turning, right after we did this motion, we were turning and like doing a rowing arm bar or some sort of motion where we're dragging bad guy's arm and them off balance. So that's the reasoning for doing it this way in the drill. All right. I'm letting Jerry write something down. He's right-minded, so it takes a little bit longer. It's just an excuse for me to work out my hip. All right, 2 more times, and then we're gonna do retreats. All right. All right. So here we go to the west. Back fist. Single. Double. Really concentrate on that elbow action. Foot up. Retreat. East. Back fist. Single. Double. Come up. Retreat. Northwest. Back fist. Single. Double. Back foot up. And retreat. Northeast. Back fist. Single. Drop. Double. Back foot up. Retreat. North. Left foot forward. Right back fist. So we got to get hourglass. Single. Double. Back foot up. And retreat. And now we're going to go to the back. North. Or south, sorry. Back fist. Single. Double. Foot up. Retreat. All right. The great yellow lie, Moichido onegai shimasu. One more time.
Hey, just real quick, if we were doing like the full 8 spots, 8 turns, so right now we're ending where we're facing backwards. Would the
Yes.
very next one be facing forward, facing north, and then starting again to the west?
Stay. Oh, that's not going to work. So we did the full northern hemisphere.
Right.
When we ended this one, we got that right foot forward. What we're going to do is the southern hemisphere, but we're going to put our feet together, and instead of going left first, we're going to go right first.
Oh, okay.
And then when this one's over, I'm done with that southern hemisphere. Now I'm going to do the eastern hemisphere. I'm just going to turn 180 like I did before, but I'm going to go left first, left, right, left, 180, step up, right side, left. So you alternate each time.
Oh, okay.
So the north hemisphere starts to the left, south hemisphere starts to the right, east hemisphere starts to the left, west hemisphere starts to the right.
Okay.
And then if we continued it and did the multiplication sign, we would go here and do the southeast hemisphere starting to the left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we step up, go right first, and we do the northwest hemisphere, right, left, right, left, right. Then we turn 180, do the southwest hemisphere, left first, right, left, left. Then we turn 180, put our foot up, and go right first for the northeast hemisphere, right, left, right. And that's, right now, this version you're doing is all clockwise motions, right? So you can see, we can now do that entire thing over again and start it doing counterclockwise motions. But again, that's not happening today. All right. So I'm not sure if Jerry was there for this conversation or not, but basically this gets you, right now we're doing it with a ball. You can obviously do all of these motions just with open hand. So I can go back fist, single, double, head, back fist, single, double, head. You know, I can do all that stuff open hand. And there were numerous variants that Taika taught us. So some of them were windmill, where we continued going the same direction. Some of them were clockwise, counterclockwise, where we alternated. Some of them were one motion, so you go single, double, head, single, double. So there was a whole bunch of different versions where we used the same footwork pattern. What Taika told us is you do all these footwork patterns and you do all these hand patterns, and they keep changing and alternating. By the time you're done with all of this, if you do this regularly, then in any encounter you are in, it will feel natural for you to go at this angle with a right hand, with a left hand, with a right double, with a left double, with a right head, with a left head. It all feels natural because you've done it 100,000 times. It forces you to go every possible angle with every possible footwork option and handwork option that you can imagine, right? I think he told us, Steve can jump in and correct me, that we never really knew what the entire start to end kata of spiderweb looked like. We got a whole bunch of these little drills, but he never showed us it from beginning to end. But he said it was about a 45-minute deal. Somewhere in that ballpark is what we heard. 45 minutes, start the end. And you can see how it can very quickly, if you start adding in all these different changes and doing these 4 hemispheres and then flip it on the 45, do all 4 hemispheres, and then change your hands and do all 4 hemispheres, and then change your hands and do the other 4 hemispheres. It can just drastically, it can go on for a long, long time. So 45 minutes actually seems a little short to me, but I don't know. Steve, are you waiting on the button?
Just an analogy I've heard before is he considered them like box cars. So each individual hemisphere is like a box car that you can add to the next box car or the 3 box cars down the line to put together. That's always been kind of nice for me to think about it that way, because trains don't always come together in the same order.
Yes, exactly. So I'm not sure, did you hear that, Jerry? Oh, we've lost Jerry's audio. Did you hear?
My computer locked up, so I was trying to wait to see. So I missed it. I'm sorry.
Tyga basically likened spider web to box cars. So those box cars can go in. If a rail company is shipping something from Chicago to Kansas City, they don't care what order those box cars are in. They can be moved around. It doesn't matter to the process as long as all the box cars get there. Plus, you can put different things in a box car. So Steve was just saying, like this northern hemisphere going left, right, left, right, left, right is a box car. And I can put whatever I want in it. I can put left, left, left. I can put right, right, right. I can put left, right, left. I can put whatever I want in that box car. And it doesn't matter if I start stacking things on the left side of the box car or the right side of the box car. So if I start going to the right or I start going to the left, Tyga would say, work on your weaknesses. So you know that, yeah, I have a hard time going to the right because maybe you learned it to the left first, and that's the only way you practice. So I have always liked the boxcar analogy as well, that Steve just mentioned. All right. Since we went off on a long tangent, let's do that just one more time. Just going to the left with right back stance or right back fist, right single, pivoting in the center, right double, pivoting in the center, right single, pivoting in the center to the head. All right, we'll do that one more time, and then I'm going to change, and we're going to do the southern hemisphere, except after this, when we do the southern hemisphere, we're going to be facing north instead of just turning around and doing the southern hemisphere. All right. So the analogy is most box cars have a door on each side. So right now I've been working on this door. Now I'm going to work on the other door here in a minute. But let's do this one more time. So here we go. To our left, right back fist, right single, right double, up to the head and back. East, back fist, single, double, head. Northwest, back fist, single, double, head. And northeast, back fist, single, double, head. North, kita, single, double, head. And south, back fist, single, double, head. If I get really sloppy with my left leg, please give me some slack because it's really hurting at the moment. All right. And on that note, I'm going to take just a small break to get a little bit water.
We expect perfection from you, Lee.
I tell you,
All
I'm
right.
gonna drink Brad's fruit punches before they expire if he doesn't show up to class Saturday.
Yeah. No, not my juice. Not my juice boxes.
They're Dan's. They're Dan's, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I just bring a bottle of water with me.
Should I read this Laffy Taffy for you, Brad?
Yes, please.
Why do bananas like gymnastics?
Why?
They like to make splits. Jerry, if you ever come up here and meet Brad, you'll realize he's like the king of dad jokes. All right.
I think
that'd
I'm
be,
very
that'd
funny.
be great. I gotta tell my 9-year-old that.
All right.
Sure will.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to change this. I'm going to modify this footwork just a little bit for Zoom. But what we're going to do is we're going to sidestep. We're going to pin and float, sidestep straight to the west line. But my back fist is going to go to the northeast line, single, double, head. And then I'm going to come feet together, and I'm going to go east with the back fist to the northwest line, single, double, head. I forgot we're just going clockwise with this. Then I'm going to come feet together, and I'm going to go pin, float, and I'm going to go southwest. So when I go southwest, my back fist is going to be pretty close to the north line. Single, double, head. Feet together, back fist, pin, float, single, double, head. Feet together. I should have said, I didn't say it the first couple of times. Every time the feet go together, I'm doing that back fist. Okay, and then left foot, because we went left, right, left foot straight back, single, double, head, feet together, back fist, right foot back, single, double, head. I'll do that one more time, then I'll do it with the ball. And if you want to participate with the ball while I'm walking it through slow, feel free if this is not new to you. But I'm going to initially throw out that back fist, and then I've got my kake, my hidden hand there as well. But I'm pinning and floating, and I'm going to the west. But this single, my double, is going to that northeast. And head is going to that northeast. And then together, back fist, hidden. And so when I go to the east, now my single won't be exactly on that line because I'm using the right side of my body, but it's going to be parallel to that northwest line. Does that make sense? Because when I went this direction, my right arm was on that line, the northeast line. But when I go this direction, I'm retreating, my left arm would be on that, but I'm sticking with the clockwise philosophy. So every time feet go together, I'm doing back fist and my cover motion. Now I'm going to go to this southwest line. And so my single is always just a little bit off that line. So it's not all the way over here now because I turned my body. See how that is? This is my arm. I'm on the east-west line. My arm is 45. When I'm on the northeast-southeast line, my arm is north-south. And then later, when I get to the north-south line, when I come here, my arm is on the northwest-southeast line for this particular exercise. Make sense? Thumbs, hips on the shoulder, or hips on their, that's not really your shoulder. I'm thinking I'm seeing thumbs, I don't see any X's.
So to be clear,
Pardon?
so to be clear, this is a whole different box car than what we were just doing. It's not we're going to the southern hemisphere. We're going to start doing a retreat version of the box car.
Right, we're doing a retreat. I am still facing, my body is facing the northern hemisphere, but everything I'm doing is in the southern hemisphere. So this is kind of before we were inside looking out. This one, we start inside, but we end up in the back looking in, or outside looking in. All right. So a whole different thing that we're doing right now. All right. So we good with the balls? Does the ball work on this for you guys? All right, for the first time? All right, we'll try it. So I'm gonna take that ball straight forward. I'm gonna pin my right knee and float my left and slide across to the west. Now my right arm should be pointing on that northeast line, and I just did the back fist. So I'm doing a single, double, foot coming in, foot going out. Okay? Now I'm putting feet together. I'm still thinking right back fist. Feet are together. So I pin left, float right, and I'm going straight east. I've already done the back fist, so I drop single. Of course, I've got to do an hourglass because my right shoulder's back. Double, cover, head with a retreat. Okay? Now, leave the front of the foot on the floor of your left foot and just turn that heel in and bring the other foot there. And so that puts me pretty close back to center with my right back fist again. Now I'm going to go southwest. As I slide southwest, single, double, foot comes up, retreat with the head, right? Now the pressure on the ball of the foot, the heel comes around, drops, and now I'm going to go southeast. I just did the back fist, so I need hourglass to get that single in range, double, inside touch, and retreat. Now, again, you're pivoting on the ball of the foot, heel comes around, drops, back fist, and left is going to go back, single, double, come up, strike, and return. Feet together, back fist. Now we're going to go straight south with the right foot, single, double, up, retreat. Okay? Some additional kind of thoughts on this. So when Taika was moving on these back lines in the manner that I'm doing this, there's essentially two ways to go. Taika would talk about the side step and the pirouette. He actually called this shallow stepping and deep stepping. Shallow, I still have, with minor foot adjustments, I can still attack my target if they're there. Deep, I'm kind of facing this direction with that back arm, and so I have to do bigger motions to get both arms back into play. All right, So with that in mind, as we come together and go this direction, I am picking up the pinky side of the foot and sliding and then turning. When I go to this side, I'm picking up the pinky, the outside side of the foot, and sliding. It's like popping a wheelie. If I pop a wheelie and slam on the brakes, if the front of the foot lands and I'm stable. If I go big toe up and try to go this direction and slam on the brakes, then I topple. It's like riding a rear wheelie instead of a front wheelie, all right? So also, now when I go 45 or 45, Taika would say, turn your foot and go sideways. So I don't know if you can see the overhead camera or if this view is fine, but I'm turning that heel in a little bit. So what I'm actually doing is going sideways. I turn my foot and push, and I'm going sideways. He said sideways is quicker than any straight back motion with your foot. If I leave my foot with the heel and toes pointed straight, you're slow. But if like when I pin and float, see how I'm going to go to the southwest. If I pin and float, and that float kicks my heel in, then my foot is set to where I can go sideways. I've changed my acclimation to where I'm going sideways. Once it goes to land, I can do, I can face whichever direction I need to with my front heel moving. But I don't want to go back. I want to go sideways. All right. So to a point. Now, when you go straight back, I don't want to turn this foot 90 degrees. Okay. So when I'm going to the back anyway, I am probably going into a back stance or an hourglass, and my back foot is going to land at a 45, and this foot will either be straight or at an opposite 45 for an hourglass. So I don't want to turn 90 and go back and end up in a T stance, because Taika didn't do the T stance that a lot of arts do. All right. So if I just turn this a little bit, probably if I was a betting man, I'd guess about 22. Actually, this one would probably, this one would be about 22 degrees, 22 and a half, to end up at a 45. And when I go straight back, I'm actually, when I pin, I'm bending my knee, and that foot is ending up going about a 45 as I'm pushing off. I don't really go 45, pause, and retreat. It's all one motion. So as I'm pinning and floating, that 45 is happening, so I'm technically kind of going sideways. Make sense? I got all thumbs up. All right. So, I need one more swig here. Usually Brad does most of the talking in class. All right. So here we go. We're going to do this drill. All right. So we're out. We're going to right pin, left float. Out. Right hand's at a 45. It does the single, concentrating on the elbow. Does a double. Comes up for the head and back. Heel comes over. Foot together, back fist. Slide to the east. Single. Double. It's got to be an hourglass. come up, retreat. Heel comes over, back fist, put together, southwest. So as I come up and make that motion, I'm turning that foot about 22 degrees and doing my single, double, come up, back. Heel comes up and over, back fist. North or southeast, sorry. Single, double, all those should be hourglass. Come up, retreat. Heel goes over. Back fist, we're going back with the left foot, so it needs to turn as we push. Single, double, come up, head, come up with a back fist, a little bit of an angle, right foot comes back, single, right foot's or right shoulder is short, so it's definitely got to be an hourglass, double, head, retreat. Whew. I'll be sleeping on an ice pack tonight. Whew. You got a question, Brad?
I was just going to say I'm going to step away for a minute.
Okay. Bye. Now let's talk smack about Brad, even though Jerry doesn't know him. All right. Huh. I don't know what he did, but Jerry's head switched from the center to the far right of my deal. All right. Was that good? Any problems with that? So you got a problem with it? Or that was no, you don't have a problem with it?
No, I didn't catch it because I got a little bit, then it locked up, and then it kicked me off, and it brought me back. That's why it went squirrely.
Ah, okay. All right. We'll just go through it slow a couple more times.
No worries.
When you come up, don't have your feet 100% together. Leave like an inch to 2 inches so that you have room to actually get that heel up to get your angles. All right. So here we go. Back fist. We're going to the west. Pin, float. Single. Really throw that elbow. Double. Head up. Retreat. Jerry lock up. He's just. Oh, there he goes. Okay. I think he's locking up again. Damn, Florida. Must be a hurricane. All right. We'll just keep going. Back to center. Left pin. Right float. Right single. Short. Right double. Right up to head. All right. Back to center. Right back fist. Southwest. Left heel's cocking. Right single. Right double. Right head and retreat. All right. Back to center. Right back fist. Okay, we're going southeast. Right arm is short, so right single, right double, right up, head retreat. Okay. Right back fist. Going south with the left foot. Adjust. Right single, right double, right cover, head retreat. Step up, right back fist, right foot cocks. Going back to the south, right single, hourglass because the shoulder's short. Double, come up, head retreat. All right. Oh, my goodness. Oh, throwing old socks. All right, Moichito, let's do this again. All right. Arms straight out. We're going to go to the west. Right pin, left float. Right single. Right double. Right cover, retreat. Right back fist. We're going to go to the east. Left pin, right float. Here we go. Right single. Right double. All those got to be hourglasses. Cover, head, retreat. Back to center. Right back fist. 22.5 degrees going to the southwest. Right pin, left. Adjust. Slide across that line. Right single. Right double. Right cover face, cover head. Right back fist. Adjust. Left pin, right 22.5 degrees. Southeast. Right single. Need an hourglass. Double. Come up, cover face, head, retreat. All right. And back to center. Right back fist. All right. This is the south line with the left foot. So we need about a 45-degree turn with our left foot. Then float. Single. Double. Head. Retreat. Back center. Right back fist. Left pin. Right 45-degree. Retreat south. Single needs an hourglass. Double. Up. Retreat. All right. We're going to do this again. All right. We're going west. Right pin, left float. Pop a willy. Right single. Right double. Right cover. Head. Pivot. Back fist. Okay. Left pin, right float to the east. Right single, hourglass, double, come up, head. All right, back to center. Right back fist. Right pin, left 22.5 degrees. We're going to the southwest. And single, double, cover face, head. All right, back to center. Right back fist. Left pin, right 22.5. Southeast, single with the hourglass. Double, cover face, head. Back to center, right back fist. Okay. Going straight south. So we need 45 degrees on our left foot. Left pin, right float. Straight retreat, right single, right double, right cover, head. Back to center, right back fist. Left pin, right 45, retreat. Hourglass single, hourglass double. Come up, cover face, retreat with the head. All right. So now I'm just going to do it a couple of times without the ball. Ball free. You can continue to do it with the ball if you want, but I'm going to do it without the ball. And quite honestly, I'm not sure how much longer I'll be able to go. My hips are ratcheting up pretty well. So we're going to do this a couple more times, and then I may call this one a little bit early and field some questions if necessary. But yeah, this is really starting to hurt. All right. So now we're going to do it, if you're doing it without the ball, which looks like it's everybody, what I want you to do, instead of just having the ball up here, I want you to think about throwing that back fist up and doing your cover as your initial motion. So I'll pin and float knowing I'm going here. And as I push, I'm going to do that motion and then drop into a single, right? So pin, float, throw it straight, and then drop, single, double, come up, head. All right? And then, of course, obviously, all the other ones. So what I want you to do is reset each time the hands down here. So you are practicing that initial straight arm launch to get practice your speed every time we reset to the center. All right? So here we go. We're gonna go to our west, so it'll be a right pin, left float. Here we go. Pin, float, straight out, single, double, up, and back. Reset. Left pin, right float to prepare. Single, double, up, and back. Relax. This will be 22.5 degrees to the southwest. So pin, preparatory float, and cock that heel in, and then out, single, double, head, up. Relax back. Pin, cock. We're going to the southeast, and go. Needs to be hourglass. All right. Now it's going all the way to the back, so it'll be about a 45 turn. And so we want to try to do that pin, squat, float, all of that at the same time that we're doing that back fist. All right, so here we go. Back fist, single, double, head, back. All right, so now we're going cross body. So right foot's going back, left pin and float. Ready, go. All right, so Jerry hasn't heard this drilled into him from Taika a million times, but when we did, there was a drill that a lot of people called turtle that we did that was essentially single, double, head, single, double, head. And I don't know if you've ever seen that, Jerry, or not, but essentially, yeah, you have, okay. Essentially, you're doing 3 moves clockwise, 3 moves counterclockwise, 3 moves clock, 3 moves counter. But it starts in a weird order because you go clockwise, counter, 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 clock, 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 counter, 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 clock, clock, clock. Just, you know, one of the lovely things that Taika would do with this is he couldn't make it just clock, 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 counter, counter, counter. He had to throw in a clock, then counter at the beginning of it. But with that in mind, one of the most important things he said when doing these type of hand positions is that you want to be fluid with no pauses. So definitely one of the main things I look for in my students when they're doing this is, you know, they're not doing a single and then doing a double and then doing a head. So they're doing single, double, head, back to single, double, head, and there's no pause in it. Later, Taika would also have us do, like, whether we're doing the front of the boxcar or the back of the boxcar, he would have us do single, double, head, single, double, head, single, double, head, single, double, and there could be no pauses in there as you went through the whole thing. If you were doing like one of the box cars, one of the drills that he gave us, and you paused at any point, he made you start over. So if there were 23 moves in it or 58 moves in it, if you paused the second to last move, you had to start over. All right. All right, so we're gonna do this again and try getting a little bit more fluid with just open hands. All right, so here we go. We're going to the west. Ready? And I'm just gonna, this time I'm just gonna say move, and you can do the back fist, single, double, head, retreat. All right, so we're going west. Ready? Move. Going to the east. Ready? Move. Southwest. 22.5 degrees. Ready? Go. Southeast. 22.5 degrees. Ready? Go. Hold on. Somebody's chiming the heck out of me. I don't know. No. It's Rusty and Tommy Boy. All right. So we're going south now. So 45 degrees with the left foot. Ready, go. Right foot, 45 degrees, ready, go. Okay, let's just reset and do it one more time. Ready, to the west, go. To the east, ready, go. Don't forget, anytime this particular, just the south boxcar we're doing, every time we go to the left, long shoulders forward. Every time we go to the right, short shoulder needs to be adjusted. All right. All right. So we did left, right, southwest, 22.5 degrees. Ready, move. Southeast, 22.5 degrees. Ready, move. Straight south, 45 degrees with the foot. Left foot first. Ready, move. And right foot back, 45 degrees. Ready, move. All right. I'm going to have to, because of my low back right now, I'm going to have to stop moving around. I can take a knee and answer any questions, but I want to kind of emphasize that this is new for you, Jerry. Not really new for Steve. Parts of this are new for Brad, but just know it doesn't really matter. Right now, I just have us going right back fist and everything going clockwise. You should be able to do this exact same pattern going left, right, left, right, left, right, going left back fist and going counterclockwise. Make sense? All right. And you should be able to, once, I find it's easiest to do the back fist single double head going one direction, then back fist single double head. And then later on with your udansha that you have, or upper cues, once they're used to that, then you can start mixing it up, you know, to where it's back fist single, back fist double, back fist head, back fist single, back fist double. You know, you can mix it up however you want. You can throw other techniques in there other than just single double head and back fist. You can actually, I can go back fist single double head, front snap kick, punch, reset, back fist, you know. So you can make this drill into anything you want with any techniques you want. And it gets your students thinking about going all the different angles. Because I turn 90 degrees, I turn 180 degrees, I turn 135 degrees, I turn 90 degrees, I turn 45, I turn 180. You're doing all these different angles with different moves, and you're keeping it going, keeping it going, keeping it going. And that's where you build up that oyata speed of you don't stop. You get out there fast and you keep going until the problem is solved. Sound good? All right. My apologies, but yeah, I'm just, I truly just can't do any more. So I'll leave it up to question answer session. If you just want me to stare at you while you do it, at this point.
That's good. That's good for me because I have an early morning. So
Okay.
one of the things, so with that, we were basically in the dojo with the drill since I got the balls and stuff, was working with the kids, and then even into the adult class, not so much with the udansha, but the Q ranks, getting them started moving with this. So is one of the things they're having a hard time with is especially going upper, because the ball, I mean, it goes crazy. So can we again keep they got the single pretty good, and then they got the double pretty good. So I started having an interchange between singles and doubles and keep going from there, and then slowly try to go up. Or
Yeah, I say completely play it by ear based on your students. Taika always taught based on, well, Taika just taught black belts for the most part. At a seminar, he would see some Q ranks, but for the most part, he just taught black belts. What we're giving you here is really udansha level stuff. And then if you've got 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds in your class, just water it down for them. You know,
right,
them learning the kind of the directions of the grid. If they don't get the pin and the float down, but they've at least, you know, they know they can turn left 90, right 180, left 135, that kind of stuff. And just maybe do single, double, or just double, 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 whatever works for that age kid. And I'm guessing you're probably, I don't know if that 5, now 10 pack of balls was different sizes or what.
no,
But the little bitty kids will have.
It's the same size, but one of the things that we started doing is playing it like a game, and I would divide the class up evenly to where I'd have 3 or 4 kids in one group, and I would have them, as they're doing the drill, they would turn to their left, and their partner would have to take the ball and then move and pass it off, and then they'd have to pass it, but and it's okay to pass it the other direction, to where they're getting their movement, but they're facing somebody and they have to pass the ball without dropping and keep the drill going.
Yeah, I never really thought about, because I haven't taught a kids class since probably 96 or 97. We disbanded the kids class. So I hadn't really thought of it in that regard. But yeah, there's tons of things you could do to make this fun for kids, but they're still learning some valuable information, even if they don't know they're learning sticky hands. They're learning some very valuable stuff right there.
Awesome, man.
Any other questions?
Could you demonstrate a reverse back fist followed by a spinning back kick?
Have you got the copay?
Just real quick.
You got the copay ready? Just a block over. You can I'll demonstrate it, but you get in the car and come over to take me to the hospital.
All right.
Wow, man.
This is the first time I got close up on you, Jerry. I thought you had like home haircut your hair, but now I realize it's a ball cap on backwards.
Yeah, obviously because
that's lovely.
That's why.
Yeah, I thought you had done a flow.
No, my wife wanted to get at me with the clippers. I said that's not happening. So we have to go see the barber on Wednesday.
This stuff right here is crazy.
I'm still waiting for the pigtails, man.
I can pretty much get it there. Yeah. Steve, you got anything? Any pearls of wisdom?
I was still digesting. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing the boat there with the angles and the retreat versus the attack, if you will.
Yes. Definitely just, he did the inside looking out, and then this is really, I guess, inside stepping out would probably be the best way to say it. And then that other part of spider web, the other part of spider web where we.
That's how you do it, Brad.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning from the best here.
Come here, and you're outside looking in.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I think of those. Is the first one we did was inside looking out, inside stepping out, and then outside looking in. I'll probably fall here. Outside looking in, outside looking in. And then there's the pirouette ones, which I don't even know how to really call them or classify them.
Yeah, I do like the mnemonic of the inside looking out and outside looking in. It makes a lot of sense. Just from a terminology state. So it's a good mnemonic.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? All right. Sorry I had to kill it a little bit early, but I can sit here and answer any other questions, or we can just all go have a drink and salute each other visually on our own.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's really good. I mean, it gave me a lot of stuff that I can work with because we have class tomorrow. So a lot of this stuff is going to be worked into like the kids class, of course, water it down, and then even in the adults as well, because they're getting into a little bit more of the moving on angles and stuff. So it's actually helping me by teaching it to remember it as well. So
I really think that ball on the singles and doubles really helps that center pivot too.
Right. And one of the things I'm going to also probably this weekend is go make some of the arm braces as well. I didn't see that at the last class, so
And we lost him.
it's really awesome.
It's okay. Jerry just had a stroke. That's all.
Wow.
Broke out.
Wow. I said pick on the Florida guy, man. Thanks a lot.
Suddenly Charlie Brown's teacher's in the class.
Yeah.
Jerry and Jerry's kid all rolled up in one. Yeah. I have no idea what I was thinking before. Oh, yeah. All it is something, you can put a comb and a couple of wristbands across a kid, a ruler, whatever. It's just something that makes them.
What's a comb?
something that is flat that makes them feel it as they come up, so that they use more of their shoulder than they do their bicep and then tricep, trying to get speed.
Okay. Plus, another thing I found with kids also, and even into the adults, is when they're trying to do this to keep the ball, they're trying to bring it close to their body to keep control of it versus keeping it out. So I think this will be a good thing as well.
Yeah, they'll actually end up smacking the ball into their face, which I'm sure you've probably seen if they're too
Yeah.
close in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Anything
awesome,
else,
man.
gentlemen?
No, that's good, buddy. Thank you.
All right.
You know
well,
if Tony will be there on Saturday?
yeah, he said he's going to be there Saturday.
Cool.
I'm sure we'll
Miss his old cranky ass.
or two. All right. Well.
All right, get better, Lee.
Thanks for joining
Yeah, get
me,
better, buddy.
and sorry it ended 40 minutes early.
No, it's cool. Yeah, take care of yourself. We'll talk to you later.
It's cool, buddy.
Os.
All right, guys. Take care.
Good night.
Os.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Welcome to the club, Lee.
Yeah.